Terry Lamb takes the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs on to Waratah Stadium. He hasn't played since breaking his arm back in round 7 against the Magpies of Western Suburbs, and it ironically was with Western Suburbs he started this marvellous career back in 1980, and it'll be against the Magpies he'll break Jeff Gerard's all-time record of first-grade appearances at 303. But for today, 300 first-grade games for Terry Lamb. The South Sydney Rabbitohs, they come to Waratah knowing that they must win. Intriguing battle for one remaining spot in the top 5. This is a must-win assignment for South today. David Manson in charge of this game, and Canterbury running from left to right. Very windy day, reaching gale force at times as South Sydney bring it back on the return for the first time. Jeremy Donougher brought down just inside the 20-metre line. Shane Wilson, that is, who's playing at 5'8" these days, with Jason Bell's move to the scrum to the number 9 position. This is Goldspink now. Craig Field able to get around Dean Fay, who grabs at his arm after attempting to make the tackle. Last tackle for South, they've got it 40 metres down the ground. They get a kick in, but that's great field position for Canterbury.
Craig Field taking too much time to kick the football there. They've got a problem, Canterbury. It looks like Jacin Smith may have hurt himself in that tackle. He's on the blind side, just outside or going back inside Simon Gillies. If South Sydney are to be competitive in this game as they give away the first penalty, defensively they must be very strong. Sinclair also slow to his feet.
Well, the first penalty of the game, and Daryl Halligan will take the shot. This will be a test for even the great kickers. He's got Steve Gearon's all-time record for Canterbury in his sights, and this kick he keeps low, unable to find the distance, but Canterbury still with a chance. Stephen Hughes is tackled about 8 metres out from the line. Martin Bella. 3 of the Rabbitohs combined to stop the big fellow. Now from Ben Gillies, it goes away through Britt and on to Lamb. Pops it up for Dean Fay, who finds himself on the end of a Goldspink tackle before unloading for Lamb. Back outside the 20-metre line. So far the defence for South very good. Jacin Smith banged down. Wilson over the top, Bell underneath. Away for Lamb now. Now for Dymock. Dymock dummies on the outside for Simon Gillies. Gets a pass inside for Terry Lamb. Taking long to offer support. And now Jim Dymock rolls it in. Oh, a nasty bounce, but Mark McGaw is equal to it.
Did a super job, Mark McGaw. Plenty of chases coming through for Canterbury as Trindall's wrapped up only 3 metres out from his own line. But have a look at the way this ball bounces awkwardly from McGaw. It stayed down. And a tough job to get on over the top of that one.
Trindall comes up the dummy half, scampers away from the markers, and then Jeremy Donougher is pulled down about 45 metres out from his own line. Sinclair a dummy half. Trindall on the blind side, knocks on. And that's the turnover.
It was a simple case of Darrell Trindall looking where he was going to kick the football before catching it. Again, a cheap handover to Canterbury. Field position really has gone their way.
Ben Gillies it was who played the ball, so it didn't take long for them to repair what damage there was to his ear. And Jason Williams does well. Beats 2 or 3, then gives the pass, but it's around the bootlaces of Tyran Smith. Well, a try has gone begging. He did magnificently, this man, Jason Williams.
He's having a super season. Tries to position his outside man, but there you see the pass was low and behind Tyran Smith, who had a pretty easy run to the line. I don't think that'd have stopped him. Williams had to beat 3 men to get in the clear, and he's done that on countless occasions this season. And that's why we've seen Brett Dallas, a State of Origin player, in the twos.
And now Bell with a little pass up for for Craig Field from Jason Bell. On the 30-metre line, the sound of the whistle, and again a penalty against the tackler and the marker, Dean Fay.
Well, not the place that they want Craig Field taking the football up, but he's earned his side a penalty. After he got this penalty, he was motioning to his players to get the ball forward. Well, I haven't found touch here. Bad mistake. Stephen Hughes catches on the full, 40 metres out. Cardinals in that.
Halligan a dummy half there. Darren Britt takes it ahead, gets a pass away beautifully for Jacin Smith. Trindall goes across. Smith's got his arms free. Terry Lammers with the ball. Ricochets off a would-be tackle. Then for Simon Gillies. Gillies, he's over the line. Does he get it down? Referee on the spot with the in-goal judge. And it's a try. Simon Gillies gets the try.
Unbelievable ball work there from these Canterbury players. All coming from the fact that South Sydney failed to find touch when kicking a penalty. Great work here. Lovely ball from Britt to Jacin Smith. Normally we see it the other way around. Jacin Smith almost hands the ball to Terry Lamb, who bounces out of a couple of tackles, and then finds Simon Gillies. Support play outstanding. Hasn't he got some work to do? He tramples over the top of three South Sydney players. Bell had an opportunity to stop the ball from being grounded, couldn't do so.
Daryl Halligan. Attempting conversion of the Simon Gillies try, and he does that with pinpoint accuracy. Canterbury 6, South Sydney yet to score. South Sydney then starting, and they put it out on the full, the Rabbitohs. Terrible start for them. Penalty at the centre of the halfway for Canterbury. Didn't miss by much. Canterbury take the tap at the centre of the halfway. And Bella loses it, but a penalty's gone to the Bulldogs. Ball raked out.
I wonder whether Halligan will opt to kick for goal here. It's 41 metres out. Lamb signals that that is the case. There's the ball coming out there. The referee was in good position. Jason Bell, the man penalised.
Halligan with 85% success rate. He kept it low and he's pushed it wide. He did give an example of the control that he's got over the football. Keeping it down out of the wind. Jacin Sinclair is to be applauded today for his involvement rate. It's been quite high. Hermansson. Must have been a popular name around about the birth date of a lot of the current crop of footballers. Jacin. Every second bloke's called Jason. This is Jeremy Donougher. 28 metres out from the Rabbits line. And they're down 6-0 as Craig Field gets a kick in. It was put down by Jim Dymock. Manson saw it. Touch judges haven't gone in, indicating they got nothing to say, and Craig Field is back on his feet, having not been able to draw any attention from any of the officials.
There's no way known that Jim Dymock could have pulled out of that. It was Canterbury again, keep the ball alive.
I think we were 5 minutes from full time to look at some of the passes. Penalty goes to Canterbury, and it's against South for being inside the 10. Some people thought it might have been for the tackle on Jacin Smith. 6-3 the penalties. That would obviously be a concern for Ken Shine. Second ball on the field as Martin Bella goes inside the 20-metre line. A little punctuation in the Canterbury attack as that ball is removed. And Darren Britt thunders up towards the 10-metre point. Ben Gillies at acting half works the blind for Dean Fay and for Jacin Smith, and close to the line Canterbury's attack was Simon Gillies. Ben, his brother, goes for a charge from dummy half, and the penalty goes to Canterbury. And again against South Sydney, not getting back behind their own line from close proximity. Jacin Smith takes the tap. It's gone for Dean Fay, the former captain of Canterbury, who's done a magnificent job in the absence of Terry Lamb. Ben Gillies a dummy half. A decoy went through. Lamb on for Dymock. That tackle is high from Tyran Smith. And David Manson's got him for it. It would be a shot at goal from right in front, you would think.
Very clumsy attempt there by Tyran Smith. Actually saw during the week that he said in a publication that he would have to address his tackling style, and that really was just an ordinary effort. As soon as the arm was put up there, he knew that the whistle was to blow.
Halligan then from right in front. And there's a further 2 points to the Canterbury total. The Bulldogs in front of their home crowd, leading South 8 points to 0. South Sydney restarting. Lamb offering it for Jason Williams. Runs into a fairly solid tackle there from Jason Bell. It's hard for me to get used to Jason Bell in that number 9 jumper, having had a pretty close association with the youngster over a long period of time. And this is Dean Pay. His pass wasn't forward. It doesn't really matter. It was knocked on eventually. And now Manson has said play on. He's played the advantage to South, and Gibson tries to squeeze the pass. Canterbury have come back with the football now. Manson ruled that South did have an advantage. Jacin Smith inside for Terry Lamb. You wouldn't think that Terry Lamb hasn't played for 11 weeks, would you? He's just joined in as though he's always been there. Here's Jacin Smith now. 30 metres out from the South line. Lamb on for Dymock. Bella's there, a dummy to him. Now that was knocked down by South, I feel. And the advantage applies. And so 6 more tackles for Canterbury. Tyran Smith. Darren Maroon, there must be a question on his tackle being a touch late. Simon Gillies is tackled on the halfway line. 8-0 in favour of the competition leaders. Darren Britt standing. They're unable to put him away. And now scooped up by Ben Gillies through Dean Fay and Jim Dymock for Stephen Hughes. Stevens put away. 35 out from the South line. Just the 1 try in the game, scored by Simon Gillies. And here's his brother Ben Gillies now. 27 metres out on tackle number 5. What will Terry Lamb do with it? We'll soon know. He's gone for the outside men with a kick that I don't think is the one they wanted, although now it is. Dymock away for Halligan, and Halligan, he strolls in for the easiest of tries. I had the feeling Terry meant to push it further out, but as it's turned out, it's been a 10 out of 10.
And it was a good kick because it did not give Darrell Trindall any momentum to get up and climb for the ball. He's not a tall man anyway, the South Sydney fullback, but he's almost stationary here, getting under the ball while the Canterbury players are coming through. Jim Dymock never took his eyes off the ball and then did a great job to get his arms free and give Daryl Halligan an easy run to the line.
Halligan then from right in front converts his own try. He's bearing down on those records I was talking about earlier. 14-0, the Dogs over the Rabbitohs. Craig Field then doing something that doesn't particularly enjoy, I suppose, under the circumstances. Martin Bella just inside the 20-metre line.
On Friday night we spoke of the skill level of the Canberra side all over the park, including their forward pack. But if you have a look at this front 6 of the Bulldogs boast at the moment with Dean Pay taking the ball forward, I don't think we've seen a more talented ball player than Jacin Smith in the game for a long, long time. But guys like Simon Gillies, Pay, they're not far behind him. And here's Smith again, still manages to get the pass away, not his best. The support play is just so good, always somebody there.
Here's Lamb, turning on the power, the little captain, flick pass for Williams. Williams is held, he'll unload if he finds support. Who wants it? Stephen Hughes puts his hand up. Halligan looks for another try. Hughes says, it's my turn. Throws the dummy and goes in. Magnificent try. And Jason Williams and Terry Lamb, they laid it on.
And Craig Field can't work out what's going on. Stephen Hughes has come into this side. No Jared McCracken, and he looks like he's been a regular first grader for a long, long time. But it all started again from Jacin Smith getting the ball away, and then Terry Lamb churning something out of nothing. Turned Jacin Sinclair around completely. The flick pass, lovely little sleight of hand there. Jason Bell tried to hang on to Jason Williams. Nobody came in to help until it was too late. Stephen Hughes threw the dummy. McGaw trying to get 2 players. Ended up getting nobody. And Hughes takes the ball around again to give Halligan an easy conversion attempt.
Halligan from right in front, and he converts. And Canterbury surge away to a 20-0 lead. This is becoming rather embarrassing for the Rabbitohs. A fairly chilly day in Sydney, and a fairly chilling port for South to be trailing 20-0. And not half the game over as yet. And here's Dymock. And here's one of the problems with South, and it was typified in that previous try with Jason Bell trying to contain Jason Williams. They're not putting Canterbury away. You've got to put them away because every one of them can offload.
We're going into round 18 this weekend, Ray. South Sydney were the only team out of the top 9 to have a worse against record than their for record. So they've had a lot of problems there. They've had some large defeats, some big loss last weekend to Canberra. The way things are going here with Canterbury in this fashion, they see similar scorelines. They fine touch 15 out.
Field then working the scrum. And how many times have South found themselves in this position on the football field? Territory-wise, it would be an incredible stat, I would imagine. But I wouldn't be surprised if Canterbury has been in their opposition's half up around 75% of this game. That's the way it feels to me as an onlooker. McGaw bounces off Bella's shoulder. Jason Bell, Craig Field, and then Goldspink. Talking of that name, Goldspink, of course, I think his name was Kevin, who played for Canterbury and went on a kangaroo tour from the Canterbury club. And there's a bounce that favours the attacking side. Shane Wilson, you'd swear blind he's playing for Canterbury. He was going back to go forward. Hermansson, Smith, Field. The pass goes behind McGaw, picked up by Donougher. Back for Field, they've lost 40 metres and they're still going the wrong way. And eventually Craig Field is put down. Oh, that is an incredible sequence of passing by South. They lost 30 metres. Stephen Hughes tries to capitalise. 25 metres out from the South line. Jacin Smith runs the blind from dummy half, then looks to unload. This time he can't. Williams up a dummy half. Lamb now across for Dean Pay. Holds it back, then Dymock hits the line. And the ball goes forward. Scrum will be necessary.
A rare occasion where the Canterbury support player didn't time his run. Dymock went forward there in front of the man passing the football. The signs are ominous, and while South Sydney continue to hand the football over in their own half, the scoreboard will keep ticking over.
Trindall swamped by Tyran Smith. Mellor. One hander for Craig Field. Jacin Sinclair into some space. The support is coming. Knocked down by Canterbury. And Tyran Smith turns it into a knock-on.
Terry Lamb got the hand in there, and it was a timely one because there was good support for South Sydney. Craig Field on the inside. One thing that Field does very well is pass and go around the man. Sinclair just timed it wrong. Terry Lamb again the problem.
Sinclair comes across, trying to take the defenders with him to turn Shane Wilson in the other direction. Paul Mellor with a dummy to the left. But he wasn't able to get rid of Dean Pay. From dummy half, young Gibson makes good yard. 42 out from the Canterbury line. Goldspink. South with a bit of a roll-on. Donougher, Mestrov. The pass is ill-directed. Scooped up by Donougher. Back now for Field. On for Trindall. There could be a try on here. Trindall. Well, he didn't realise that Mark McGaw was on his outside. McGaw a dummy half. Jason Bell is with it. Craigfield cut out. It's gone to ground, knocked on by Mestrov. Penalty against Canterbury inside the 10.
Well, I'll take the tap here, South Sydney. Trying to go the quick one. Nobody's come out to meet him.
Mestrov it is. A metre from the line. Jason Bell, a dummy half. Gets a small pass back, and Goldspink tries to make a surge. That's how close they are to the upright. Penalty to Canterbury. Well, Goldspink has gone backwards to play the ball, and that's a penalty for not playing it on the mark.
Oh, that's cruel. Goldspink trying to give himself some room, but you can't walk off the mark. First time I think I've ever seen anybody go backwards.
Bella tackled 10 metres out from his line. 20 points to 0 in favour of his side. Darren Britt, a team with some very talented players, and many of them are shining today, but Darren Britt has been quite outstanding. Played by Brett Dallas. Across from Terry Lamb, and Dean Fay running wider. Only one marker, and now Terry Lamb puts in the kick. Now, Gillies is the only Canterbury player in front of the kicker. We'll put that down for future reference. Lamb goes down and puts them onside anyway, emphasising the fact that they are one of the classier sides in the league. Half-time then, Canterbury 20, South Sydney no score. Welcome back to Waratah Stadium, the start of the second half, and South Sydney, they've got all the work to do, down 20 to 0. Canterbury-Bankstown, with Martin Bella taking it back on the first return. 6-5 the handling errors. Canterbury making just one more than South. But these blustery conditions at Waratah, they haven't lent themselves to security of the football as South take the tap, and Hermansson is brought down about 22 metres out from the Canterbury line. There are no changes to either side, and Goldspink reaches the 20-metre line. They're right in the centre of the park. Another forward play for Mestrov. Craigfield setting himself to call the next play, but it's not dead yet because Donougher eventually was put down. They've opened up the field to the left. Field it is who works it out for Shane Wilson. Across the face of Tyran Smith, and again they put it down. So Canterbury with it, 30 metres out from their line.
Only been back a minute and already seen two handling errors, one from each side. And in the wind, what you're looking to do is to try and shorten your game up. You don't want to be throwing long passes. You make sure that your support players are very close to you, and one side have been able to do that. Great luck this afternoon.
Canterbury then, with Terry Lamb. That passes forward to Dean Fay, and he's penalised.
Well, how can that be deliberately forward? It's no different to any other one we've seen pulled up and ball back on the scrum setting. Terry Lamb threw that deliberately forward, and his reflexes are better than Carl Lewis and Ben Johnson in their prime.
Well, the rule is there, and I guess it should be used, but if you're going to use it, let's be consistent about it. And McGaw is tackled 20 metres out from the Canterbury line now. Hermansson. Play now in the centre of the ground. Hermansson suffered a shoulder injury in the first half. He seems okay. Tyran Smith. He's had some fantastic games this year, young Smith. It's away now for Craigfield. Shane Wilson. The ball goes to ground. Darren Smith can't pick up, and Souths have got possession still. I thought he might have restarted the tackle count. Trindall inside for Hermansson. Last. Trindall. Field. Sinclair. Keeping it low. It came off a Canterbury player. Dropping back there is Daryl Halligan. There's a touch judge going in from this side of the ground now.
And this will be for a tackle on Jason Bell. In the previous play, he was absolutely poleaxed after passing the football. Now, how much after, I'm not quite sure. There he is going across, and that's high.
the man that's being penalised. Souths right in front from 10 metres out get the penalty. Two points no good to the Rabbitohs. Mestrov is brought down. Jason Bell taking no harm from the tackle. He didn't try and feign an injury either, which is to be admired. Now a long ball from Craig Field out to Trindall. They've got the numbers on the left as Canterbury compressed in defence. Mellor plays it about 5 metres out from the line. Trindall at first receiver, and this is Donougher with the arms free. No runners. Bell for Trindall. Field. Sinclair on the 10-metre line. Gets out of a tackle, goes under the upright and scores. Jacin Sinclair scores for South. 20 points to 4.
A good try there. Good pressure exerted by South Sydney. Throwing the ball from one side to the other, looking for the hold. And finally it did open up on the fringe of the ruck there. Tyran Smith came in, wasn't able to hang on to the tackle. Jacin Sinclair able to spin out under the posts. Might be too little too late, but that will give them some confidence. Good passing from the South Sydney side. Eventually Sinclair to go across.
Trindall, the kicker. Right in front, 9 metres out, raises the flags. So a bit of respectability back on the board for South, down 20 points to 6 though. It's the start of the road back, you might say, for South. It's a hell of a long road, and this is the match, as we said earlier, that they can't really afford to lose. I can't see how they can make the 5 if they lose this one, given the draw that Brisbane has in front of them, in particular Brisbane. And we'll have a look at the matches remaining for the Rabbits. Illawarra at home, then West away, Manly at home, and Cronulla away. So they really need this one, don't they? Trailing by 14 points. Goldspink able to promote Trindall, and then Hermansson, he loses it. And it's down with Canterbury, the advantage to the blue and white. Tyran Smith, a bit of trouble in getting up, and then from Britt, he floats it out for Ben Gillies. Gillies held by his opposite number, but they don't put him down. They do now. Not enough intensity in defence from the Rabbits. Maybe not enough aggression either. Bella, 21 out from the line. Canterbury, are they coming into another try? Dymock uses Terry Lamb. This man playing his 300th first-grade game. Dymock pushes on for Jacin Smith. High shot without any malice in it from Goldspink, picked up by Dean Fay. And then across for Jim Dymock. He looks to push the ball out the back. It's with Dean Fay. Rugby union fashion, really. Fay flicks it out. Williams goes in and scores. Well, Jason Williams already has had a fine game. But Dean Fay was the man probably most responsible for the try.
Well, these two Canterbury wingers must love playing outside. The skill level of this Canterbury team. Jim Dymock should have been wrapped up there. Somehow the ball given back to Dean Fay, who was involved in the previous play. The sidestep around Shane Wilson and the pass to Jason Williams.
Halligan, 4 out of 6. Good figures on a day such as today. This one he pushes wide. Canterbury-Bankstown 24, South Sydney 6. Tries to 1 then.
And Souths going through the ritual of starting it again. Halligan bringing it back from his own in goal. The kick-off that time from Darrell Trindall. Bella. Almost to the 20-metre line.
That last try, Ray referred to Jason Williams as a winger. That's how I do see him, but it shows his versatility. He's playing fullback, of course, in this game with Scott Wilson out. Brett Dallas an opportunity. So well served, and here he is getting involved again with great speed.
And look at the support around him. Ben Gillies put down by Darrell Trindall, and referee Manson calls him out.
just don't know how serious the push was from Trindall. Don't like to doubt Ben Gillies because he is staying down, feeling the fingers. You'll see Trindall come in from behind Ben Gillies. Basically just knock him out of the way.
A suggestion of a forearm. Halligan then finding the line off the penalty. And Ben Gillies obviously is quite okay. Gain of some 11 metres. Jacin Smith a dummy half. Terry Lamb, Darren Britt. Britt pushes it out the back. Lamb is there. Jacin Smith is there. Then he shovels it down for Brett Dallas, and then a driving tackle over the top from Hermansson. Wakefield, 6 more tackles indicated as McGaw is with it now.
And Brett Dallas got blindsided here from Terry Hermansson. Smashed. Bang.
And Tyran Smith running action there as he took that tackle. Has to be questioned as Brokenshire reels out of it injured. And now it's with Trindall, and then from Mellor. He's looking for support. Finds McGaw, but it's a mile forward. Well, you could ask the question now, was that deliberate?
Mellor looking to keep the ball alive, no doubt it went forward to Darrell Trindall, and if Terry Lamb was penalised for forward pass, that should have been penalised as well. Yes, Chris Anderson is quite happy with Terry Lamb's performance out there. He knows the game is won, so Kevin Moore comes into the fray. Terry Lamb won't finish his 300th first-grade game, but he certainly had a major impact in this win over Souths.
Canterbury on the attack, 25 metres out from South's line. Terry Lamb gets a huge ovation. Oh, boy! Is that a super tackle or not from Darren Maroon? Let's go back to Mark Brokenshire, though. That's the cause of the hold-up. Play dangerously close to an injured player. He went in to make a tackle on Tyran Smith. You may have heard me say at the time, a question mark on the running action of Tyran Smith as he came in to contact with the defender. Here he is now. Yeah. I didn't get a clear view of it, and you people obviously didn't either, but that left knee, I've just got a thought in my mind that Smith intentionally lifted it. And I trust I'm not being unfair to the youngster, but that's the way it seemed at the time. Darren Britt, 15 out from the south line, from Gillies to Moore, Dymock. Glenn Hughes ran the decoy, and then Dymock was pulled down. Still no closer to the line. This is Stephen Hughes. He's had a fine game. The last tackle now, 10 metres out from the Rabbits line. Kevin Moore puts the kick across. Dallas comes on the charge. Oh, well done, young Gibson. Well done.
That's a great catch, that one. Difficult catch to take with chasers coming through and the ball swirling away.
Dymock then. Quick play the ball. Gillies goes to the blind side. Halligan's the only player over there with him. They set for a play to the open side, and there's plenty of personnel. Another blindside rush from Jacin Smith. Then Daryl Halligan is put over the sideline. Mark McGaw reeled off a very strong tackle on Halligan. Watch it again. Did not like the tackle from Jim Dymock. A little bit of heat in there. Sparkles, he's not sparkling at the moment. Penalty goes to Canterbury. Halligan with 4 out of 7. And this time he's 11 metres or more than that, 15 in from the sideline, and this one he pushes out to the right again. At 24-6, Canterbury over Souths. Bounce favourable for South. Bella having to dive on it and then clutching at his head. He must have worn a boot in the head here. Might have been the shin of Mark McGaw.
Doing some damage out there, Mark McGaw. Always comes in at 100 miles an hour.
Kevin Moore. Jim Dymock. Bit of soft patch. The sand right in the centre. Could be put down for a tackle on Jim Dymock. Look at this. Tyran Smith almost from nowhere. Paul Mellor. Back on his own 20-metre line. McGaw. Big and strong. Plenty of pace. Played for Australia.
We disorganised South Sydney this afternoon. At times we've seen the best from them. That wasn't. Jacin Smith put it down. Play on 6 again as Field tries to promote something for Shane Wilson, but a good tackle from Dallas over the top. Another Canterbury player in background down at Simon Gillies slowly to his feet.
Maroon tackled and pushing it back for Elias. Then Bell. Mestrov felt the full brunt of the tackle from Glenn Hughes. Now Field. Torpedo pass. Picked up on the bounce by Jacin Sinclair. A show of the ball. Then he strides through. He's into space. One to beat. Draws him. Craig Field for the line. The South's captain gets the try. Laid on by Jacin Sinclair.
Never been any doubting of Jacin Sinclair's talent, and you saw it all on show there. Really made some defence there look extremely ordinary. Threw the dummy when he picked it up. That's a pet play of his. A little bit of a shepherd there inhibited Simon Gillies, but both Bella and Ben Gillies missed the tackle, and he didn't lose his head at the end there. He drew Jason Williams. Craig Field, supporting as always, scores the try.
Trindall then converting the try, scored by Craig Field. Second try in the match for South, and now they trail by 24 points to 12. Canterbury at the restart, and Jeremy Donougher back on his own 20-metre line. Plenty of defence players there to contain him. Mestrov gets in the queue.
Not that long to go in this game, Ray. They really need to throw caution to the wind, South Sydney.
Long pass from Trindall, finds Mellor, and he finds Tyran Smith trailing around his legs. Done some good things in defence today, Tyran Smith. Trindall plays it. It goes through the legs of Jason Bell, and he's ordered a knock on.
Well, he's much closer to the action than what we are, but we do have the value of the action replay, and if that went forward, I'm not here.
Canterbury, 25 metres out from the line with Jim Dymock. Kevin Moore looking around. Who wants it? Tyran Smith is there. Then they cut out the player as they go across for Daryl Halligan. 32 or 22 metres out from the line. Kevin Moore for Jacin Smith. As the game has progressed, they've worked out with Jacin Smith in particular. You've got to take the ball out of the game, wedge it against him, because he'll get rid of it. They have contained him a little bit in the second half. Darren Britt.
He gets it out. Kevin Moore looks at the line. Fifth tackle right in front of the uprights. Kevin Moore plays it. It goes back for Halligan. He drops it on the foot. And a field goal takes Canterbury to a 25-12 lead.
Winfield looking for a quick restart. Canterbury only just able to get...
Oh, what a magic kick-off, and Gibson had the opportunity. Hughes is with it for Canterbury. Tyran Smith. I thought for a moment that Craig Gibson was going to come up with the perfect restart for South Sydney. Canterbury on the halfway mark, leading now by 13 points, and I think their footy tab start, South Sydney, was 12 and a half. Jacin Smith takes a play to the blind. Britt follows him through, and then they work back from the right to the left, and it's played by Simon Gillies for Kevin Moore on 5. Dymock puts the ball low. Gibson falls back, shows good anticipation. He's done some clever things today, young Gibson.
He looks like a player of the future. One player that has impressed me out there, and he probably doesn't get as many raps as he deserves, as Canterbury penalised for raking the ball out, is Britt. He's thrown more constructive passes out there this afternoon than I think we've seen from him in a long, long time. Short ball to Mellor.
Well, Mellor gets a pass away. It's come down for South Sydney. Did Canterbury get a hand to it? Referee Manson says no. John Elias, he's put some pepper into South Sydney's forwards. Then he gets a pass away for Shane Wilson. Elias, a dummy half. Gives it up for Field. Pushes it to the blind side. And David Penna is on now for South. 25-12 the score. Bell. Sinclair steps inside one. Mestrov. Just outside the 20-meter line. Darrell Trindall is the player off for South to make way for Penna. Tyran Smith gallops over to score. Too little, too late, maybe, but at least they've come back with some courage in the second stanza. 25-16 the score.
Great example of running into the gap. Good acceleration there. It was Glenn Hughes who was found out completely in defence. He overread it, thought the pass was going wider.
This kick then for the record books only from a wide angle from Craig Field. Hits the upright, bounces through, adding 2 points to the South total. Canterbury-Bankstown 25, South Sydney 18. The man of the match
had something to cheer about when their charges inflicted the first wound.
Great try for the Newcastle Knights.
Both teams' forward packs were wearing heavy armour, and despite Daryl Halligan's touchdown, Newcastle led 8-6 at half-time. Paul Harrigan searched for Canterbury scalps and may front the judiciary for this elbow on Jacin Smith, but the Knights couldn't stop Terry Lamb. The world's best support player latched onto a last-ditch pass from Jim Dymock, got a glimpse of deja vu from Jacin Smith, then a touch of luck for his hat-trick.
And scores his third try of the afternoon.
24-8 Canterbury, but 2 tries in 10 minutes got Newcastle within 6 points before Jared McCracken's intercept put the Bulldogs out of reach.
McCracken picked it off and scored the try as the siren.